What's up, NASCAR Heat fans? David Land here, coming to you for the Texas race. As you can look at the point standings, I fell out of the chase after a disappointing Martinsville race. I have changed the sponsorship up just a little bit. I don't think I'll get fastest lap of the race, so I decided to shoot for 15th position, but the sponsors are unchanged pretty much from last week, and as you can see, we qualified 31st at Texas. I had a bit of an understeer during qualifying, but we're very competitive, and I think throughout the race, I think I'll be able to fix the car, get it handling very well, and I think we'll really compete for this victory. So let's get to it. Texas Motor Speedway.
Everything is bigger in Texas, and that statement couldn't be more true for Texas Motor Speedway. Texas is a 1.5 mile D-shaped oval that creates exciting racing action all the way around. Also, check out the Big Hoss TV on the backstretch. That's the largest HD TV in the world.
Big Hoss. All right, here we go. Ready to go. Racing at Tejas. Now, sometimes there's a lot of crashing that happens with the AI here in the tri-oval, as I almost crashed myself in the tri-oval. I get shoved down once, twice, 3 times. Spin. You think they're going to give a yellow for that? No. Well, we'll at least take advantage of the rubber banding AI here. And I have half a mind to restart the race from that, but I feel like screw it. It's better just to just leave it, and we'll come back when I've rubber banded back up to the back of the field. Alright, so we've caught up to the back of the field. The car going very slowly there, the 38 car of Chris Buescher. We'll get around him, and also Casey Mears, who caused us a lot of trouble on that initial start. I've got people on the list. You got to be so careful through the dogleg. You may have noticed the guys just ahead made a jinking maneuver to the outside. And they do that if you're on the outside of the doglegs here at Texas Motor Speedway. So you have to be very careful and cognizant of where you are, where the AI are, or where they might sneak up underneath you. So I really took a big move down there underneath, or just ahead of Eric Jones. Now we're here behind Bobby Labonte, and watch, he's going to jink down, and well, I guess he didn't do it there, but you got to be really careful. I'm telling you, it's happened to me in the past, both here and at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, as Bobby did not treat me very well there. We went really slow through the corner. I need to make sure I'm not slowing up. I'm actually recording this on a day that I also recorded 2 NASCAR 15 videos, so I got to remember not to keep my NASCAR 15 habits from restricting my NASCAR Heat potential here. I've got a long way to go before I can get into sponsorship requirement positions. I've got as high as 5th as one of my sponsorship requirements, so we're gonna have to really work for that here. As you can see, the AI have no real regard for your car. They will bash into you as quickly as they can. Let's get the leaderboard up here, if I can find it. Find the menu. There we go. Okay. Big draft off of Casey Mears there into turn 1. And we're making it 3 wide because there's literally no other option. I guess we'll swing in behind these guys. Try to run with them a little bit. Down the back straightaway, behind. Is there anywhere to go into turn 3? I guess right up the rear end of Trevor Bayne, but that's not working either because Mears has gone to the inside, and we're stuck in a Talladega pack at Texas. I'm sure Eddie Gossage would be very happy if the racing was like this at Texas, but unfortunately, I'm not too thrilled about it at the moment. Yeah, we'll get some revenge on Paul Menard. He will put us down on the apron there. And we get spun for the 2nd time by Trevor Bayne. And there's a major crash on the backstretch, and thankfully, we got a yellow. So I will pit, do some repairs, even though I don't really need it, but I think strategy-wise, it'll be a good idea to pit early. I also added a bunch of tape to the grill on this yellow. Try to get the front end turning a little bit better. Maybe run a little bit faster in the straight line. So here we go, back to racing. Brad Keselowski's back here. He may have pitted under that yellow. I didn't really take a close look at the running order. So we're coming back to racing here. It looks like Harvick's in the lead. Boyer down to the inside. A name that starts with a B and ends in ER. It's close enough. Running behind both David Reagan and Clint Boyer. And against my better judgment, I was going to try to go to the high side, but car was just a little bit slippery up to the top of the track. And Bobby Labonte did not come over on me, so I guess I can run on the outside of him just fine. Really running the Larson line there in turn 1 at Texas. Not particularly the fastest line around, I have to say. But when you're trapped in traffic like this, sometimes it's the only way. So we'll try to go around the outside of Bain. Of course, this track was very successful for me in NASCAR 15. Ooh, that was close. Spoiler alert for NASCAR 15. Again, I think I spoiled in the last video, but I won at Texas in NASCAR 15, so maybe we can pull that off here in NASCAR Heat. So we go around the outside, and is Menard going to come up on me? I come down on him just a little bit. Get that side draft going. Now we'll go alongside Tony Stewart, 4 wide, and that's, yeah, Stewart was very wise to back out of it there. Because 4 wide in the tri-oval, that was never going to work in any capacity, ever. I don't even think Indy cars at Texas could pull that off. They can go 4 wide down the backstretch, the Indy cars can, but it's about the only place you can really pull it off at Texas. And here we go around the outside of more cars. We're running up in the 20 or just into the top 30 now. Oh, that's a big problem. And thankfully we got a yellow for it. I have to pit again for more repairs. All right, I took some wedge out too. Looks like Kevin Harvick also pitted, so the top 10, 10 cars ahead of me have also pitted. So there's a big strategy advantage at the moment. We could run this race under the green for a little bit longer than 2 laps, though. I think we could find some strategy in it. We got a decent restart that time by. Took some wedge out of the car under the yellow. Again, I'm trying to free the car up a little bit to get some speed. It looks like it's working fairly well right now. So we go down the back straightaway. I shouldn't have pulled out a line there. Kind of screwed myself just a little bit there. And we're going to spin Brad Keselowski. He'll save it. And almost get spun by Clint Boyer. And we're wrecking again in the tri-oval. Wow. Wow. Well, another pit. Okay, and this time we're back to 39th place, but I think for the first time since I think the initial start, we're restarting on the inside. So hopefully this makes things a little bit less chaotic here on the restart. We'll see, though. I'm going to try to be a little bit more patient this time, but I can't guarantee anything. Strategy is completely out the window as far as I'm concerned, because I think even more cars. And now Danica is spinning up to the top of the track. She gets up into the wall. And then I got into Mears a little bit there. And another... Wow, holy smokes, this is a wreck fest. At least we don't have to pit this time. Okay, so we're up to 24th position as 10 cars behind us made pit stops. And we're on the outside, which is unfortunate. Not the best place to be. But we'll see what we can, if we can make it work here. So the green is out. We're into turn 1. Looks like the outside lane is moving. So that's a good thing. Try to hold our line here through turn 2. And get behind Almirola just a little bit. Try to get that draft. Bump draft him down the back. He's going really slow. There's just no real good way to get around these guys. You can go way outside, and Casey Mears once again causing trouble. Wrecking again. Casey Mears is literally backwards the entire way down the main straightaway, and they finally throw the yellow. Finally throw the yellow. Oh, NASCAR Heat. Never change, never change. So we're restarting 17th. Ready to go once again. Hopefully we can actually have a green flag run, even though I feel like I've said that about 50 bazillion times at this point. But this is the Texas Gen 6 Massacre Part 2. I think we had a wreck fest in NASCAR 15. Of course, I won that race, so that may not be a terrible sign for this thing. So in the draft behind Chase Elliott and Truex. And Larson going around the outside. And we finally get to the inside. And I'm gonna get spun. Well, time to start a wreck. Gotta cause a wreck because we're not gonna get a yellow if I don't. Look at this mess. Good grief. I pitted again under the yellow. And yeah. I don't know what else to say about the wreck so far. This is like the Daytona 500 on steroids. Haven't gone many laps without a wreck. But we're down to the inside of Michael Annett, the threat. Hopefully this time you have a little bit more of a clean run here. As I get into the back of Michael Annett. And you know what? I'm just going to lift off just a little bit. Let him kind of sort it out here in turn 3 before I really start going for it again. So we're 3 wide into the tri-oval there. They almost wreck. They really wanted to. They didn't. And we're 3 wide underneath. And we're into Michael Annett, and we are spinning again. And are we going to get a yellow? We got a yellow for it. Well, I can't fault NASCAR Heat for not calling yellows this time, but dang, it is slowing the pace of this race down. All right, I stayed out, 30th position, still on the lead lap, but on the outside. Green is out, and we're racing again. I can't wait for the "you suck" comments. Those are going to be fun. And we're 3 wide. I'm trying to hold my line, and that time I held it together. Barely, but I did it. And we'll try to sneak under the inside of Stenhouse, but he's not being cooperative. Now we will. And also underneath the Benedetto. Try to anyway. And Stenhouse and Smith and Wall. Oh well. At least now I'm not in the middle of this mess, as I just completely run into the wall for no reason. At least I'm not in the middle of this mess anymore, so maybe they can spread out just a little bit, and I can get up there again. Damage the car just a little bit on the side, but not a big deal. We're almost halfway through. We are halfway through this race, I believe. We're getting there, getting to the halfway mark. So, let's take a look at strategy. 15 to go on fuel. We'll have to see how that works out. I wonder if my fuel mileage is better or worse than the competition at this particular juncture. Makes you wonder. Ooh, we don't want to be on the apron there. We do not want to be on the apron. Because if I spin by myself, then I'm really in trouble. I've been lucky each time I've spun in this race that I've been able to collect other people. I don't feel like I'll be able to do that this time. So I go around the outside of Ellis and Busher. I feel like this is going to be bad. Very close with Busher there. And close with Tony Stewart. The car almost got loose on the outside of him, but I saved it. Now we'll go through turn 2. See if we can get that run. The run is going to be so important. And we should be able to get under Almirola here. But the rest of this field, they're 4 wide up ahead. For a second, split second. Now they're back to 3 abreast. And we'll go under a couple of Hendrick Motorsports cars, as well as Annett the Threat. Do not want to be on the grass. I should not have gone down there. And we'll be a little bit unruly with Truex as well. Sounds like his car's getting loose, but didn't lose it. And we'll get in a big draft behind Chase Elliott again as well. Oops, oops, up. Oh boy. He saved it. No, he didn't. He's around. Around goes Chase Elliott. Oh. Oh, God almighty. I'm going to keep using these yellows to pit, because why not? We only lost 7 positions, and screw it. We're back to racing. But I think I kind of figured out in the last stint how to kind of race these the AI at this track. So we'll see if I can get it here this time. And of course, a lot of guys on old tires starting up ahead. Guys on new tires are behind. So we'll see what happens as we get back to racing here, as I had to block Greg Biffle. Just go real easy into turn 3 that time. And Greg Biffle decides to NASCAR 15 me at Bristol. And we're going around again. And thankfully they're throwing yellows. That is the only thing that's saving me right now. Pit it again, because why not? We're setting the record for cautions and pit stops in this race. And back to racing again. Now, if we could just get a green flag run in here, that would be advantageous. 27 laps to go. I can make it on one more pit stop now, I think. So with that information, that means I need to be driving a little bit more cautiously to be able to make it both on fuel and without giving these guys any more yellows to catch up on strategy. We'll see how it works here. As I get a big draft off of Labonte, go to the outside in turn 1, have to get on the brakes a little bit to avoid Jimmy Johnson. And around the outside of Labonte, still trying to get around him. And get that draft on the outside lane. Slider in the corner. Pull around the outside of Jimmy Johnson. And a lift off around the outside of Bain. Oh, really? Eric Jones just got into the back of me. Do you think they're going to throw a yellow for Johnson spinning in the middle of the track? Actually, no. No caution, no caution. So NASCAR Heat is back, everybody. And yeah, we will definitely be able to make it on one more stop. So here we go. And I just traded paint with a 40th place car that's a lap down, 4 laps down. Wonderful. Good decision making there, David. Let's see, now cars are starting to peel off into the pits. That was JJ, or not JJ Yaley. I'm playing too much NASCAR 15. David Reagan. And we'll go to the inside of at least Busher. Had to lift out of it underneath Labonte. And maybe we can actually make up some on-track positions as we try to get underneath Eric Jones, who just completely sideswiped me at the dog leg. Because of course he did. 3 wide underneath all these fellas. And we will move up some positions. I mean, just look how much faster I went through 3 and 4, which is more or less a flat-out corner in NASCAR Heat Evolution. But not when the AI are being silly. So let's go to the outside here. Start trying to make up some positions. Can't really get a good run yet on Castle. We'll have to do it in turn 3. Despite the fact that I don't really want to be on the outside. I'd love to sneak to the inside if I can get that run, which I'm not going to be able to, so the outside it is. And I tried to sneak back in line, but Landon Castle is right there, unfortunately. So we'll dive to the inside of Landon Castle, try to get that run down to the inside, and get him going in turn number 1. That is another pass. I saw another car coming into the pits. It looked like maybe Denny Hamlin. Couldn't quite tell, but it may have been him. Big run down the back. 3 wide entering turn 3, and we'll maintain 3 wide racing all the way through as Clint Boyer finally backed out of it. And now we've got several cars coming down into the pit lane. There's a yellow car, maybe Chris Busher. It also may have been Joey Logano, couldn't quite tell. We'll bump draft with Trevor Bain all the way through turn 1 and 2. Actually get him underneath Ellis. Wow, surprise bump drafting actually worked there. This is a better plate racing simulator at Texas than it is at Daytona or Talladega or whatever. And down to the inside of Trevor Bain. This is a dangerous move, but somehow I pulled it off, at least for now. Bain fighting back on the outside. We're spinning again. We're wrecking again. And at least we got a yellow for that, but that pretty much ruined any strategy that this race was going to have. Well, at least we'll be able to race to the end. Of course, based on your definition of race, we'll see what happens here. I think most of the cars, if not everybody, came into the pits under that last caution as we get on the grass there and nearly just wipe out, you know, everybody else down here. But we are back to racing again. And there are some seriously sad looking cars after that last wreck. It seemed to be pretty big there in the tri-oval. Once again, very slow through turn 3 are the AI. We're trying to get down to the inside. We're spinning again. We are spinning again. My car picked up off the ground. Nearly did a blowover. And for some reason... Oh my gosh! Did anyone else just see friggin... Holy crap. What was that guy? Brian Scott just was flipping through the air. How in the world did that happen? I don't know how that happened. I'll try to get a replay of it for you guys. That was the thing. I knew my car was blowing over. But his car definitely for sure got upside down. It was 25 feet in the air. That was crazy. Okay, so we are back to racing. Hopefully a little bit less dramatic than the last time. As we are underneath Brian Scott, who somehow survived his near fatal accident. And we actually pulled off the IndyCar move there, going 4 wide into turn 3 as we got around several of the cars that were damaged in the last accident. As we dance through the dangerous tri-oval here at Texas Motor Speedway. Whoops. Uh-oh. Michael Waltriping. Oh, boy. Wow. And we only have 1 second of estimated repairs, so I'm not going to pit. Alright, so we're only restarting 31st. But, you know how that is. I don't think we've had more than 5 laps of green flag in this race. Like in a row under the green. This has been some kind of a race, that's for sure. We have 4 laps to go. And I may not do better than 30th. Of course, we got a couple of short tracks coming up, which if this were NASCAR 15, I'd be very concerned. Or NASCAR 15, I'd be very concerned about. The NASCAR Heat, actually, kind of looking forward to them. Oh boy, we are wrecking again. And we won't get a yellow because nobody else spun. Well, that's a fitting end to the race if that's indeed how it ends. And 39th is probably where we deserve to be at the end of this race, as we've got 3 laps to go. Now we're on the white flag. This race has been a shame to the great name of NASCAR Heat Evolution. This has not been too good. No bueno. Are we even going to make up a single place as the rubber banding AI does its thing, heading down into turn 3 for the final time? As we get on the brakes just a little bit, we got 2 cars to pass up here, but it's not going to happen. We're going to finish literally 39th on track and 39th in the race. Okay, so here's what I may think is the best replay of the Brian Scott incident. You can see I got into him, he gets into the wall, he turns up and over. Okay, let's try that again. He turns up and over, and if you can see, there's another car that pins him. I think this will be the best angle, at least in terms of an outside shot here, just to be able to see how it starts. You can see, boom, into the wall and upside down, and then he was absolutely flying through the air, as evidenced by that. So 39th place, pretty terrible race. Carl Edwards ended up winning over Ryan Blaney, but let's face it, that was garbage. So let's take a look at the winnings here. Only 70 grand is nothing to scoff at, but we didn't get any other sponsorship money aside from that. 95 grand, but it could have been a lot more, but whatever. Point standings are not going to be bueno here, as we go to 126 and fall to 24th in the standings. not too good. Not too good. So we'll head back to the shop and see if there's anything else to take a look at. So from that awful race at Texas, we're going to move on to Bristol Motor Speedway with another very rich race, the Food City 500, and hopefully, as long as I don't get a pit road speeding penalty, I think we can do very well at that race. So I hope to see you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube, and we'll see you in the next video.